My name is Angelina Mirabito. I'm a contemporary abstract artist with a background, a PhD in the therapeutic value of creative writing. So the biggest challenge and most exciting thing about the art practice for me is to learn how to communicate and tell stories without words, and for the most part without form. So using colour and texture to be able to transcend language, which can be barriers, especially when we come from different cultures and different languages, and finding that universal transmission through it. But it's really informed by having spent most of my life working with words. I chose the series, the Transformation series, for this event because of its multicultural influence, and the main theme of it is water, and it is a universal principle. It's universal to life, our emotional life, which often stands for a metaphor of, and in all different cultures there's always an exploration, a mythology or a spirituality that has a connection, and stories that go behind water. And over a lifetime, I've drawn different influences from different cultures, spirituality, mythology, as well as art from it, in an exploration of understanding water. And I think it began, so my family is actually from the islands of Sicily, so there's a Roman Catholic upbringing that I had, and in the church and the Bible stories, the symbolism of water has often been about rebirth, purification. And then as I've grown up and gone on to read myth, because my studies was in literature as a part of creative writing, there was the Greek myths that really interested me, and that's why each of these are based on a different goddess in Greek mythology, which the Romans actually appropriated a lot of the Greek gods and goddesses and deities in their mythology from the Greeks. So there's a multicultural influence going on even in the myths or the gods and goddesses. And then there's astrology, where there's the water elements. And so this element of water being something of transformation and immortality, and this renewal and rebirth and changeability, which, yes, I was really influenced at different points in time of Bruce Lee saying, be like water, the changing nature of you always remain in the essence of who you are, or even who you are from birth. It changes and evolves during the different life experiences you have from the human development. The essence stays, but there's always this like water, always a changing and knowing ourselves differently, and being exposed to different multicultural environments, traditions, stories. It all influences and impacts us and enriches us. So there's like this dynamic element to water that enabled me to really explore this multicultural influence, where we, like a prism, know different facets and aspects of ourselves, but retain who we are, as well as know more of who we are as we change throughout life. And that intercultural conversation that we're constantly exposed to and understand through art, to see differently, to know differently, to understand different ways of seeing and knowing others and ourselves, is why I did these particular processes. So it is almost like a water dragon sense in the first one, which is very kind of vibrant, powerful in its force. And then that process of change that we often undergo through different transformations of experiencing ourselves and understanding things throughout life is a bit messy and all over the place. So that was the elder god in Greek mythology, Eurybia, who had that primal force of change and wild nature, which is quite messy, which when we go through changes in life, it's a messy process. And then I had Amphitrite, which is the goddess of transformation, and that whole thing of knowing yourself through a different perspective, through after having undergone change and seeing things differently. And that whole notion of the water bird, so being able to breathe underwater, and which is a bit paradoxical, but it is, in a sense, that change becomes paradoxical to how we knew life and experienced ourselves in a former version of ourselves. So I just thought that was that multicultural influence through the whole universal principle of water that I kind of ran with in this series and thought it was fitting for the event. So thank you.
And she